Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about Michigan football. I'm going to give a quick recap of what has transpired in the last 24 hours. So, if you already know, skip ahead a minute in the video. Now, ESPN yesterday around, I would say about 11 o'clock in the morning, ESPN came out with an article which we will go over in depth in this video, written by Dan Murphy and Pete Thamel, highly touted reporters and journalists in their own right, alleging that the NCAA had a draft that was going to put Michigan and their head coach Sharon Moore in a difficult spot, to say the least. Now that you're caught up, let's get back into it. By the way, guys, subscribe, like the video, do all that. Helps us out, helps us get out to more college football people like you guys. And honestly, let's dive right in here. We're going to answer some questions as well. Will Sharon Moore be suspended? Will Michigan have to forfeit their national title? Will Michigan have to forfeit wins? All that and more will be discussed on this episode of the Big Ten Quick Talk podcast. I already told you guys to subscribe and all that, so we are going to get down to business now. All right, you guys can now see the ESPN article, that which I spoke of earlier in the video. Now, let's get down to business and read the article. Now, this preliminary draft shows that head coach Sharon Moore, right here, could face a show cause penalty and possibly a suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions. You see that right there in October 2023. Now, I think this is a little bit important here. On the same day that the media reports revealed Stalions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents. Let's just go through and digest what I read. Bottom line, Sharon Moore was in contact with Connor Stalions before everything went down. So when they were actively cheating, so because we know this for a fact now, back in October and November when people were scratching and clawing about this, we didn't know. So I defended Michigan a bit because we didn't know. No one knew really anything except that something was up. Now, you can't defend anything that they were doing. They were cheating before October 2023. They were cheating. To an extent, we don't know. We're going to dive into that later in the video. But as it says here, Sharon Moore deleted a thread of 62 text messages, blah, 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 blah. Now, let's go on. And obviously, this was recovered via device imaging and whatever. And he is accused of committing a level 2 violation. All right, moving on down. I don't want to bore you guys here as we go through. And this is a little bit important as well. Michigan staffers Jim Harbaugh, Chris Partridge, and Denard Robinson, as with Connor Stalions, are also accused of committing a level 1 violation. Now, level 1 violations, the NCAA doesn't really throw these around too often. I say that lightly because they really don't throw them around at all. So it does make me think the NCAA is pretty darn serious about this, and this draft is going to come out in formal writing here very soon. A spokesperson for Michigan's football team, blah, 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 blah. The Big Ten suspended them. All right, so I think that we've seen enough of this. Before we move on, I just want to take a look at this article right here. Read it for what you will. This article just proves why, not this article, excuse me, this paragraph. This paragraph proves why the NCAA, they're just a bunch of jokers in there anyway. Because of this, let me focus more solely on this, that Sharon Moore contacted recruits during a COVID-19 recruiting dead period. This is like the Tennessee situation that happened a couple months ago. If you know, you know, but because I'm not going to go into it right now. But the NCAA just picks on teams for stuff that everyone else is doing. Everyone else was contacting recruits during the COVID dead period. every other major player that wanted a big-time recruit was already doing that. I can guarantee that for you. I mean, they're just picking on Michigan at this point just to pick on Michigan. There's no validity to yeah, they broke the rule. Let me give an example, an analogy, if you will. If you're going 55 down a parkway or whatever, and you're going 57 miles an hour, and the cop pulls you over and says you're speeding. You were going 57. Legally, you were going over. But nobody's going to pull you over if you're going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's crazy. That's what this is right here with the recruiting dead period type of thing. I mean, all Jim Harbaugh and Sherrone Moore did was offer these recruits a sandwich and let them take a picture in a Michigan helmet. That's really all they did. And I think they gave him like a Michigan hat or something like that. But this just it bugs me because the NCAA is trying to come down hard on Michigan, level 1, level 2 violations, because they cheated and all that, and that's fine. But it just makes them look so much like jokers when they come out and they also have to throw in the recruiting dead period violation. Like, goodness gracious, guys. All right, now let's move on to just my overall thoughts. I'll leave the article here so that you guys can read the rest of it that we did not really go into that much. But I wanted for the 3 people that say that Michigan did nothing wrong. There's just so much evidence. I can't really talk to you because you're beyond reason at that point. Because man, Michigan did mess up big time. I mean, even I'm not even going to go into. If I go down that tirade, this video will be too long. So I'm not going to go down that tirade for those 3 people that still say that Michigan did nothing wrong. What I will say, though, is that we should not penalize Michigan or Sherrone Moore until this actual document comes out and we have that in our hands. Because just doing something based off of this one ESPN article that came out that Pete Thamel reported on, that saw a preliminary draft, does not mean that we should do anything yet. Let's hold our horses. Let's not expel Sherrone Moore from all of football yet. Let's not do that yet. But let's go to the other side, Michigan, without the cheating, just, 7-5 team, would have lost to Ohio State in 2021, in 2022, in 2023. Would have lost to Ohio State, excuse me. But here's the deal. When it comes to these cheating allegations, it's not like they were guaranteeing wins for them. They still had to go out and play the game. What do I mean by that? Just because you know a little something extra, and again, we do not know the severity of this. The severity of how often and who cheated directly, and when we get evidence for that, and I'm pretty confident that we will, that is going to be huge, absolutely huge. Because if it's just like, Stallions gave Blake Corum a little video that, he wasn't allowed to take, where if they line up in this formation, you should run to the right. And if they line up in the opposite formation, you should run to the left. If it's something like that, where it was like a once or twice a game deal with different players, man, I don't know. But at this point, if you're saying that Ohio State would have won those 3 games, those people are dead wrong, because Connor Stallions, as far as I know, did not tell Ryan Day to make up with all these horrible play calls. Did not tell Kyle McCord, hey, you have to go throw this pick at the end of the game. Connor Stallions didn't, cause special teams errors on the Ohio State side. I mean, there's a whole lot more I could say about it, but just because Michigan cheated does not mean that Michigan was a 5-7 team, or that they didn't deserve to beat Ohio State, or that, whatever. They didn't deserve to win all the games that they did, because they actually have to go out and play the games, and they have to go out and be really, really good. I think a great case in point for this is Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson probably, we're just guessing, also stole some signs or whatever. But he's still a great player. Look at him in the NFL right now. He's one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. And even though, oh, he cheated. He cheated. Look at him. Go look at him in the NFL. That's the same guy at Michigan. Bar after the broken leg situation. Y'all know what I mean. Anyway, I think this is me trying to beat around the bush here a little bit. Look, Michigan should not have to forfeit their national championship. And I'm going to tell you why is because they were not cheating past that October date that we read in the article because Connor Stallions got caught and everyone was aware of the situation. Why would Michigan cheat when the spotlight is on them most? When I guarantee you many different people were going through emails, going through laptops, going through all this other stuff. Why would Michigan just continue to cheat? That's asinine. They did not continue to cheat. They didn't, going back to this Rose Bowl, they didn't tell they didn't tell, Nick Saban to call that play on 4th and 4 on the 4th and goal. Just told him to say, hey, Jalen Milroe, just run up the middle. Just do that really quick. That was a terrible play call. And, large part of the reason why they won that game. Also, it's just football. You cannot just, and I promise, guys, this video will end soon. I want to go back. What's the last time in pro sports, really, that we had a cheating scandal scenario type of thing? It was the Houston Astros in 2021. I want to say not huge on dates, but it was the Houston Astros. What were they doing? They were banging on trash cans. They had the monitors. They knew what pitch was coming. And yeah, you still have to hit the ball, but that, in my opinion, is far worse than just, again, and we have to know the severity to really have a judgment on this. But just as it stands preliminary right now, knowing that a curveball is coming makes you infinitely more capable to hit a home run, which is honestly what the Astros did, because they were, before this stuff came out, they looked like the best team that ever played baseball. Michigan, on the other hand, and when you play football, it's different. You can know that this one guy is going to blitz off the edge if they get in this formation, or if they check to this, they're going to do that. You could know that and still mess up big time. But you could tell me, oh, quick talk, they could still 100% miss the curveball. Yeah, but I mean, you got to know both sports to really just know. This is more of like a feeling on my part more than me telling you he's going to hit the curveball, because I'm sure they missed a couple. Anyway, I'm beating around the bush a lot right now. I think if everything holds true, Sherrod Moore should be suspended for half the year. At least 4 games, in my opinion. And the Big Ten should pick those games, not just beat the first 3 or the last 3 or something like that. That's all for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We have a lot coming on this channel. We've done season previews. All our season previews are done. If you want to go see them, check them out. We did about 10 Big Ten teams, probably the 10 most relevant Big Ten teams. I wish we could do more, but we're pressed on time before the season. So I'm going to get you guys my top 25, my preseason top 25. I'm going to get you guys, I'm gonna try and get you guys some more tier rankings if you guys want that. I did a Big Ten quarterback tier ranking. If you want to watch that, go ahead. It's on my channel. Probably the last video right there. Just go look it up, watch it, have a great time with that. And my last thing I want to do before this new chapter in this college football, season starts is I want to give you guys my record predictions. So stay tuned for that. I'm working on those day and night to get you guys the most authentic and, frankly, the best. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.